It's like, well, why hasn't the sea level risen? And why right now do we have all these fires? If all this water is coming out of the ice sheets, wouldn't there be a lot of it in the atmosphere? No, because it's going to the ice sheets. That's why we're having all these fires. Of course, a lot of these fires are being set because they're trying to drive people into the cities, 15-minute cities. We'll talk about that. So is the Ukraine war about to end? Trump and Putin will be meeting in Alaska on Friday. We'll talk about that. Show you guys how the war is going. It's not going good for Ukraine, and that's one of the reasons why Trump has a nice negotiating stance because Zelensky and Ukraine do not have any ground to stand on, and because the United States is basically the major funder of NATO and the controller of NATO, if you want to put it that way, with Trump there, of course, we're going to see NATO come along. Maybe they'll still back Zelensky because they have vested interest in keeping Zelensky there, human trafficking, the bioweapons, and so forth. So it's going to be very interesting. Trump is pushing them into a corner, and it's not working out so good for them. So the housing market is being decimated. Businesses are decimated. We'll just look at California, but it's that way across the country. California is like it's usually the last to suffer, and it's suffering now. So we know that this thing is being held up by little tiny pins, and at some point it's going to collapse. And when it does, silver prices, which I think, and gold, silver and gold will be going up quite substantially. Many people are predicting next week. So we'll see. All right. Fires because of chemtrails kill the trees. So every time, and there's not specific chemtrails, every plane that flies now is chemtrailing. Every plane. It's not specific. All right. They do have specific chemtrailing, but every plane that is flying now is literally chemtrailing. Right. They put it in the fuel of the planes. Right. We've talked about that. Had a lot of people on the show that reveal that. So it is what it is, guys. All right. So there is a group of people that are controlling the world, and we don't have any say until we start to push. Right. We have to push, and we have to get involved, and that's the way. I like it. So it is not going to happen anytime soon unless we get involved. Okay, let's look at what's going on in Ukraine. So in Ukraine, they have, definitely, gotten hammered, massively hammered, and there's nothing they can do about it. Nothing they can do. And if they try and fight, then they're going to get slaughtered even more, and that's what's happening right now. So if we look at what's going on there, Russian army, like I said, is really getting hammered. If you look at, let's look at this one. If you look at what's going on there, it's devastating. So this is Bakhmut. This was in an earlier stage of the war, and look at the devastation. Oh, I can't do it from here. Can't do it. So I've moved everything around, so I have to work on this stuff from another tab so that it will actually come up, and it's a little confusing. We'll see how this works out. It should just play. Let's go back and see if I can get this to work. There we go. All right. So let's go over here and see if we can get this one to play. There we go. All right, so this is Bakhmut. The city was like almost completely destroyed, as you guys can see. The Ukrainians don't give up anything. They fight brick by brick, right? Quite devastating. So as you're seeing in these apartment complex buildings, they're pretty hammered, and the reason why that is that snipers will get in there and they'll shoot from there, and they have to bomb the hell out of these buildings. So like I said, they fight brick by brick. They hide out in these homes. They blast the hell out of the homes. It's crazy the way Ukraine is. Just they don't care. These are pretty much Russian speaking towns, so they don't care. So there's definitely, uh, you know, uh, they're they're not the same. They're not the same community. The Nazis don't like the Russians, and so they try to, like we've seen, they try to kill them, destroy their, as you see here, make sure that they get destroyed, their buildings and so forth. So they keep doing this, but over time we're going to find that that's not going to work out so good for them. So why do they keep it up? Why do they keep destroying all of these different buildings like this? What makes it in their best interest? There is no best interest for them, really. Now here's Mariupol before and after. So as you guys can see, obviously the Russians are coming in and turning all this around. The Ukrainians, the Nazis, as you saw from the devastation, as you're seeing from the devastation, they obviously do not care. But the Russians come in and they clean it up, and the Russian-speaking people come back and they live large. So pretty impressive, what the Russians are doing here. But on the other hand, we're the war's still going on. Still having to fight this war, even though we're getting close to the point where it looks like President Trump is going to turn this thing around. So let's look at this. Yeah, we already looked at that city. Nope. Look at what Trump and Putin to meet in Alaska for Ukraine talks next week. Now, is this going to make the difference? Are we going to finally see Ukraine give it up? Are they finally going to no longer be able to fight? The Russian bear is going to take out the Nazis just like they did during World War II. It looks like that's where we're at, and it's just pretty substantial. I believe they meet 15 August, and Trump announced it on social media, and he said the location was quite logical given Alaska's relative proximity to Russia. Of course, Russia sold Alaska to the United States, so they've always been a friend of the United States. They helped us in pretty much every war that we were in, and it's very troubling to see how this is moved in this direction, but it could work out. Now Zelensky, of course, he's not going to be fond of this because he's not going to make out. He's going to end up losing quite substantially. So if we see this war continue, it's not a good sign. Because now I've seen that Russia was going to basically roll all over Ukraine and annihilate the army. So we'll see. I would hope that Trump can bring about a peace deal. It is a possibility. The reason why it's a possibility is because Russia really doesn't want to go into the Nazi areas and control those areas because they're going to end up having civil war and conflict with the Nazis, and it'll be never ending. So it's better just you guys stay over there. We'll be over here. If you get out of line again, we're just going to come over and we're going to hammer the hell out of you. Right. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm skeptical that it can be actually arranged, but it is a possibility, I guess. So in the future, we'll see how this works out. So will the Russians actually, be able to take over the rest of Ukraine and knock hell out of them? I think it's very, very possible. So this is one of the areas that they're, just like Zelensky panics before the vote, Trump to hand over 4 Ukrainian regions to Russia. So that's going to be something that we could see. The Ukrainians have, some of the area that Russia wants, and Russia has some of the areas that they would probably give back to Ukraine. So they just do a little trade. This land is our land, that land's your land, and we won't tread on you anymore if you don't tread on us anymore. So I don't see how the Nazis are going to let that fly, guys. There's always been a problem, but maybe both sides are tired of war, and we'll see. It could happen.
Assault vehicles, indicating the presence of Russian troops in the remnants of this settlement. There were also reports of the clearing of AFU strongpoints along roads 0522 and 0516. Today, this information was supplemented by independent cartographers. A pocket, or at least in ordinary boats, heading north, where an evacuation point is believed to be located. Whether the evacuation is conducted from the northern bank or elsewhere remains under discussion. But one thing is certain, the Klebanbek pocket has very little time left. The countdown is now in days, perhaps weeks. Everything depends on the current priorities of the Russian army's command. But the question of if this will happen is no longer relevant. The only question is when. ChatGPT said next, attention shifts to the H32 highway. Here.
So we're seeing basically Stepanivka. You see that right up here on the right. They're basically taking all of these towns very quickly. They're taking major cities. It used to, like when I showed you Bakhmut, it took them months and months and months to take Bakhmut. And Avdiivka was another one further in the war, like a year later or so. They work for like 8 months. Now they're taking cities within a month or so, and cities that are almost twice as big as Bakhmut and Avdiivka. So it's definitely moving along at a significant clip, and Ukraine doesn't stand a chance. So the only way that Trump can help Ukraine not do stupid, it's to basically have them go in and negotiate for them. This is what you're going to do. You're going to like disband your army. These are the things that Russia said, and they've said this in Minsk agreements. I don't know. I think this is the third or fourth Minsk agreement. Like agreement, and Ukraine and NATO promised, and of course they broke those promises because they just said that so that they give breathing room so they could ramp up their military and attack Russia again. So I don't know how they're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. Maybe Trump can do something that shows that we're going to be maintaining the peace. He's actually said that he would put troops in there. So we'll see. Now this is let's see. Let's go back over here. Let me go back to the Russian. I want the Russian one, where the Russians are kicking some ass still, right? Yeah, here we go. All right. So this is kind of cool because I used to be a mortar man too. I was a heavy machine gunner, and I was an M60 mortar man. And I was also an RPG 7 guy. So I like big booms. But this is twice as big. This is a 120 millimeter mortar, twice as big as the 60 millimeter mortar that I used to use. But they're showing how basically they're in this one position in the Donetsk region, and it's fierce fighting and so forth. And they're basically, taking out the Ukrainians.
Понял. И почему?
So this is Patrick Lancaster. He is an American media guy. He's an independent. He doesn't get a lot of support from the regular media, but programs like me, I promote him. He hasn't been on my show yet, but I've had other people like him on my show. So he does a great job, I think. And he's right up there in the front. So they're talking about enemy movement detected. He's in trucks, they're like high speed trucks, and they're duck into buildings real quick when they see a drone. So it's a lot of drone warfare, and they're going to shoot a bunch of mortars, and then they're going to cover it up and hide. So once they do this, the drones come out and start to hunt them. So the drone warfare has taken combat to a whole nother level.
Именно сейчас.
Движение замечено движение.
Можно сказать, что это?
Это
So he's talking about how, we know where they are. We're going to hit them pretty much. So what they're doing right here is, this is what I used to do with the M60. There's little packets that you put on the mortars to give them more of a oomph. So it's basically gunpowder. So when this mortar goes down the tube and ignites, depending on how many of these little packets you put on it, determines how far it's going to go out. So this is kind of cool to see this.
пороха. Для выстрела.
Ага. И сколько километров будет стрелять?
Это километров 6.
Ага.
So each one of those is going to boost that mortar a little bit further. So if you wanted it to shoot shorter, you would only put one or none. But 2, 3, 4, is really going to pump that out there. It's going to go a pretty good distance, depending on the angle of the tube as well.
Vert будет.
Кто?
Ами будет advert стреляет, отвечает.
Вот сюда встань.
Ага.
Потому что вон дырка над головой. Лучше вот тут встань.
Ну,
Лишнее.
вроде русский, но может быть украинский.
Да.
Ага.
Так вообще, как бы, тыл, ну, грубо говоря, тыловая часть наша. Но, я же говорю, тут только...
I'm Patrick Lancaster, and we are here on the Russia-Ukraine war front line, and battle is starting on the point of zero, right between the Ukrainian positions and Russian positions here on the front.
Выстрел!
And that is the technique. So you you place it, you call out, it's gonna thump, and you drop and you move away.
Выстрел! Выстрел!
So that goes out to an area where I was just showing you guys where the Russians have done a massive move going forward. So very, very interesting. It's moving along. The Ukrainians can talk smack, which they've been doing. They can push a little bit here and there. Makes it look like they're kicking butt, but they're not. They're being annihilated all across a massive front line. So now we're going to move to California, Vallejo, California. Now, when I was in the SEAL teams in my early days in the SEAL teams, my early or mid 20s, I guess, it was around the mid 80s. I went to Vallejo, California for a flashlight repair school. So some of you out there might know what that is, but flashlight repair school. So it was in Mare Island. So I went there and learned how to repair flashlights. And yes, Navy SEALs, some Navy SEALs. I was very selective Navy SEAL, and I got to go to flashlight repair school. So I did that, and it was in a beautiful, beautiful area. Mare Island had an incredible history. I stayed on the base in the basically barracks, and I walked to where the flashlight repair school was, and did that. And then it was mostly officers there, and I was like the only enlisted guy. And then we went out on the last night and had a nice party in Vallejo, and we came back, and next day it was done. And then I was designated flashlight repair person, right, for the rest of my career. And only a few people knew what that was. So it was very interesting. So, of course, I'll never say what it is, but those that were involved in that program know it's pretty high speed. And that's the way it is. All right, so now let's look at what Vallejo looks like now. I want to show you guys a map of Vallejo before we start. And Vallejo, sadly, is not doing so well. So here's the map. Here's Vallejo right there. There's Mare Island, right? If you zoom out even more, you're going to see San Francisco. This is San Francisco Bay right here, Golden Gate Bridge. So I remember, I had a little time off on the weekend because it was like several days. It took a lot to learn how to repair flashlights, right? So I got to drive around. I went to all the wineries around here. Very, very beautiful area. Very, very beautiful. All right. And that was quite some time ago. It's like I'm thinking that was like in 85, I believe it was. I came in 78, and yeah, it was about 80, 85. So yeah, 40 years ago. So 40 years ago, California was absolutely exquisite everywhere. everywhere. But that has changed quite substantially. And you guys have seen how I've been sharing the decimation of many, many cities. So let's look.
Boars, boars, boars.
Now, this is a guy I liked. I've been promoting Metal Leo. He used to have just a little tiny channel. He's done really well. I pray for this guy because he goes into areas where probably a normal human being shouldn't go, but he does it to give us this information. Support him, subscribe, and like his work because it makes a difference. So, I mean, this one was about a month ago, and it's got 181 views. But all across California, all of his videos in virtually every city and up in Oregon and up in Washington State, devastation like you're seeing here.
Wherever this was, it's all fenced off and boarded up. Looks like a really nice place. But now it's all gone. Every window is boarded up. A lot of trash down there. A lot of flies. Looks like somebody had a birthday party over here. Where the ATM used to be. It's the first time I don't see boars. And I see those cement blocks. Even the Safeway store left the city. I was the pharmacy sign up there. This here was the main entrance. And it's recent. You can tell that wood is recent. Now over here by the ferry terminal is when it starts to get really rough. A lot of encampments out here. Look at the type of cars you find around here. Old style. We're in downtown Vallejo, California. Another ghost town in the Bay Area that has been decimated by crime. A lot of shoplifting, vandalism, auto theft has rendered this downtown empty. Look at this. This used to be a business here. Now it's all covered up. So we're gonna start here. Every single store and shop over here is closed. That's not a good sign. There's the sign there for sale. Historical landmarks that just have to be fenced off to avoid camping, damaging, tagging. Look at this place. Maybe another bank? Who knows? See all these places? This barbershop? All covered up? That's not open.
So, of course, that naval base is no longer there. It's gone. It was quite substantial in its day. It had, I think, back in World War II, it had a record for, because they built destroyers there, built ships there. It took them 17 and a half days to build a destroyer during World War II. So American might, American industrialization, of course, from 1913 on, once they started doing taxation, Federal Reserve and so forth, we started to lose our industrial might. And now it's, as you're seeing there, it's decimated throughout California. California was one of the, I don't know if it still is, but at one time it was one of the largest economies in the world just by itself in America. And now, I don't know, maybe it still is because everybody else in the world is slipping too. But California, it's not the place you ought to be. You better load up the truck and get out of Beverly. So it's no mas. No one wants to live there anymore. Everybody's leaving. Maybe a couple of you, 2 or 3 of you in the chat still live there, but it's turning into a third world country. It's very, very bad. And it's not going to get much better going forward because you have leadership there that is corrupt, exceptionally, incredibly corrupt, and they're burning California. All right, they're burning California on purpose. They've been doing it for a long time now. Right, Paradise, all up and down the coast, of course, in the upscale areas now. So it's pretty bad, and there's more fires now, raising again, once again, every year. I listened to one gentleman in one of these interviews, and he was like, "This is like the fifth fire in a year like, that has threatened his home." So it's pretty amazing what's going on in California, in Canada, even down in Mexico. Lots of fires down in Mexico. So I said that we would have a long winter. Our winter went all the way into April and May, and for a lot of areas, and I'll show that in a little bit. And I said there would be a short summer. I think tomorrow and Monday is the peak of summer here in Lake Tahoe. It's been cold every night. And that's normal. It's usually cool at night in Lake Tahoe. I remember I used to do courses, and I'd take people in the wilderness, and we'd stay a few days. But we have sleeping bags at night because it gets chilly at night. Hot during the day. You're kayaking during the day. You're good. You're like hanging out by the waterfalls. It's beautiful meditation. But yeah, the mountain air is usually pretty cool. But tomorrow and Monday, I think are going to be the hottest days. They're like 87 and 89 on Monday. And then it's going to start to slip back again. All right. So it's going to be, like I said, it will be a short summer, and fall would come very early. And then winter will come, and winter will be brutal this year. All right. It will be a very brutal, very cold winter. For those of you in the north, in my area, it's probably going to be colder than normal, probably a lot of record setting, but they're going to still probably lie about it, right? So they've been lying about this for quite some time, and let's point some of that out. So the housing market is pretty much crashing in California. I'm just going to focus on California, but it is crashing in Florida. It's crashing in Las Vegas. It's crashing in a lot of places. Some places are still holding out, still, aren't suffering for the most part. And I hear this from everybody because I've been saying this for 2 years. You better, if you're thinking of selling, you better get it done before it's too late.
Risen interest rates. They didn't. They overstimulated the biggest asset class on planet Earth, the U.S. housing market. If we lose it, we lose everything. We're thrusted into a deep cycle recession, a potential depression based on the size of this bubble. That's how big this bubble. Unsustainable growth, overnight appreciation, no organic growth, market manipulation, courtesy of stimulus measures, stimulus programs, and stimulus money. Those were all the three arms of injections that happened, and the housing market was a big target. How do I know that? You ask? Of course I'm going to tell you, because I'm a real estate agent. I was a real estate agent stuck at home like you, and then all of a sudden I was deemed an essential worker. I didn't like that. As much as I love real estate, work in real estate, own real estate, I've put blood, sweat, and tears into this job. I was like, this doesn't pass the smell test. Masks, gloves, sanitizers, foot wipes, one-on-one showings, no open houses, but I could sell. And when you have a limited inventory with that type of upward pressure, it was nitroglycerin into the housing market, and we overheated it, and they waited too late. They did what I reported, and a lot of others did early on. They kicked the can too far down the road, meaning they left interest rates artificially low for too long. And I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's too late. It's the two-headed monster. It's out of its cage. It's a runaway train that's left the station. It's off the rails. How, you ask? Well, of course I'm going to tell you, because even if we lowered interest rates again, which we won't, at least not to those artificially lows like we saw, not anytime soon, that's for sure. It couldn't tolerate it. It couldn't tolerate it because even if you did, yes, some buyers would come back into the market, but they'd be buying at all-time highs. And all of a sudden, we'd see another spike where these prices are already unsustainable. Why? That's, of course, I'm going to tell you again, because the U.S. savings rate is now at an all-time, never-seen-before low. People have exhausted their savings, are running on fumes, living on credit cards. Why, you ask? Or how do I know that, you ask? Of course, I'm going to tell you, because credit card use is now at an all-time high. Those two metrics right there alone, the U.S. savings rate, all-time low, U.S. credit card use, all-time high, is the writing on the wall. It puts the collision course in motion. People are running on fumes. And here's where it gets better or worse, depending on how you look at it. Insane, right? This is insanity. We got to talk about it.
All right. So yeah, it's a runaway train that's left the tracks, and it's happening all around the country. It's not going to get much better anytime soon, and in fact, I think it's going to accelerate to the downside. Like you said, that is one of the largest market. It dwarfs the stock market. That's why in the last downturn, 2008, 2009, around that time frame, when the housing prices started to collapse, like they're starting to do now, we saw the stock market follow along because we're seeing a much bigger market in housing than in the stock market. So the stock market is very small compared to bonds, compared to housing. It's going to be, and of course, we've seen commercial real estate crater massively, 85, 95, 90, 95% in some locales. So it is out of control. Now starting to move into, residential housing, artificially inflated way too high. And it's gonna really bite. It's going to bite hard. So what other things are they doing to cause problems?
A rapidly spreading wildfire briefly forced evacuations for thousands near Los Angeles. The Canyon Fire broke out Thursday in Ventura County near Lake Piru. So far, it has burned more than 5,000 acres. The Gifford Fire in rural San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties has scorched more than 104,000 acres in 1 week. It is the largest wildfire in the state so far this year. Andres Gutierrez has more.
North of Los Angeles, the Canyon Fire sent smoke as far as Las Vegas as homeowners scrambled to leave under evacuation orders.
We know that living right at the very end here that we're going to be exposed.
While thousands of residents fled, others refused to leave.
It's been a nightmare all night over here, up on the ridge, where the flames have been getting bigger.
Jerry Abersold stayed to care for her older dogs, keeping watch as the fire crept closer.
Fortunately, there's no wind. That was a blessing, because if we had wind, we would be in big trouble here.
A combination of cooler temperatures and calmer winds are giving the firefighters out here an upper hand on battling this fire on the ground and in the air.
The Canyon Fire is just one of 35 large wildfires burning right now across the country, most in the West, torching more than 1 million acres. In Central California, the Gifford Fire has pushed past the mega fire status of
35 fires just in the U.S. right now, major fires. So this can't continue. And what is causing it? Because like I said, there in the middle of America, there would be drying and fires. I said that way before. I said it last summer. I said it was going to be like this. And I mean, when we're having all those flooding, you probably were thinking, Mike, you don't know what you're talking about, but here we are. And there's no water because it's all locked up in the Arctic, right? And Antarctic. It's starting to pile up there because we're moving into a global solar minimum, right? So they're going to continue to lie. They're going to continue to push. We know they're setting these fires, directed energy weapons, and because they always say we don't know how these fires started.
100,000 acres. In Arizona, the Dragon Bravo fire has wiped out a historic lodge at the Grand Canyon. The North Rim is closed for the rest of the season. Utah's Monroe Canyon fire is the largest there this year.
This is what
So the North Rim in Arizona is closed for the year. That means no hiking for those people, that normally would go there by the millions. They're pushing us into the cities, guys.
third or fourth one in a year now, so this is the closest, bro.
All right, third or fourth. That was a little bit, I said 5. So third or fourth one.
With a persistent hot and dry forecast, meteorologists say the West will remain a wildfire hotspot through at least September. For CBS Saturday Morning, I'm Andres Gutierrez in Castaic, California.
All right, yeah, another one of those homes that's mysteriously burned with all the trees around it that are virtually untouched, right? So, direct energy weapon, and they're going to take out the homes. They'll start the fires, take out the homes under cover of like a fire's burning, a mile away. So, and the smoke comes over, and there's like a little flame on a bush, and a house, with porcelain that melts at way above house fire temperature. All of that's gone. So all the bathroom fixtures, the marble, everything in the house, metal, everything dustified, right? So those are massive, microwave fires they're taking those houses out like that. And I've been reporting on these for a long time, and still people don't get it. I guess. I don't know. So we'll continue to see these, obviously, for the foreseeable future, I guess, until more people awaken and figure out that this is definitely a problem. All right, New Brunswick. We see here in New Brunswick that Canada has gone far to the left, and they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. So they believe that their people should get out of the forest because there's burning somewhere. Somewhere there's burning. So same thing in the states of here in the United States. They're Arizona. They're basically saying you can't go to the North Rim, Arizona now. So here we have same thing happening in New Brunswick, Canada. So they're saying, come out of the woods, stay out of the woods until it's safe for everyone. Kind of sounds like COVID again, doesn't it? Just until it's safe to go back again. Just until it's safe to go back again, right? And I guess they're going to determine, when that is. And when that is probably not going to be for anytime soon, right? And that's the way this works out. So New Brunswick, where is it? It's just, as you see here, just above Maine. You have Quebec City over here. Quebec City, which is French, in the rest of Canada, there's French and English signs. And in Quebec, Montreal, there is only French. So we know who's running the show there, right? All right, so that's the way these things work, guys. And the people of Canada, I guess that's okay with them, but they're being they got hammered during COVID bad. They got all the people that did the trucker convoy stuff. They got massively hammered. Now no one wants to come out and protest anymore. So stay in your home. Even though there's no fires around you, stay in your home. I don't care if you live right on the woods and there's no smoke, there's no fire anywhere around you. If you go into the woods, you will be fined $25,000. That's what they're doing. Fining those people $25,000. It's insane, right? What what is going on in Canada? Well, there's been a lot going on in Canada for a while, and they haven't pushed back, and it's going to continue. Let's look at it a little bit. So right there it said 10 states under high threat alert. And of course, here we see more directed energy weapon fire.
America is under the grip of a deadly flame. A Grand Canyon of smoke has enveloped California. What started as a brush fire in mountainous area of Los Angeles rapidly spread through the Los Angeles County on Thursday, forcing thousands of evacuations within minutes, and quickly becoming one of the largest wildfires U.S. has ever seen. It burnt a part of LA's Los Padres National Forest, wreaked havoc in nearby Ventura County, and has led over 50,000 to evacuate from their homes. Firefighting crews are working in steep, inaccessible terrain as they battle heat wave-like conditions. Nearly 900 homes in northern Los Angeles remain under threat. Flames race through rugged...
Now I wonder if those firefighters, kind of like me in combat zones, were like, they just keep this stuff going. There's no way. There's no way this stuff could continue like this unless it's being helped. I wonder if firefighters too.
Canyons, ranches, and forest land. Authorities are still investigating what caused the Gifford. But it is not just Gifford that Americans are worried about. United States.
So over 750 wildfires burning throughout Canada. You're going to see probably them focus a lot of these on the indigenous Canadians. They're going to burn them out of their territory as well. So they're trying to, like, just completely burn out all of the environment. They did this. They've been doing this for years now. Right. So every year they burn more of the forest. There's nothing out there for people. They can't live out there anymore, so they have to move into the cities. This is what they're doing.
Its neighbor is dealing with a burning crisis which is not limited to its borders. Fires blazing in Canada are causing hazardous air quality levels across United States. Over 750 wildfires are burning throughout Canada, with more than 500 labeled out of control. Over 16 million acres of land have been scorched by blazes, making this year's wildfire season 1 of Canada's worst on record. Smoke from the blaze has crossed into the United States, bringing hazy skies to multiple states and major metropolitan areas, including New York City.
All right, so definitely going to continue for the foreseeable future. I don't see Canadians standing up and pushing back on the tyranny that's happening in their country. Americans aren't either. We're allowing these wildfires to burn like crazy too. Now you see here, this is basically the fire map. You see this is Maine over here, and New Brunswick is right here. It's all yellow. It's high, elevated, and of course red is extreme. Are there any fires that are burning there? There are a few in the northern area, but everyone in New Brunswick is told to stay indoors. It doesn't matter that it's in the northern province. It doesn't matter. Everyone, just like COVID, is being forced to stay indoors. And if you don't, so this is the interactive map all across Manitoba. Ontario, for the most part, is free up in the northern areas, and in the central area, Edmonton, Alberta, looks like it's got a little bit going on. I've been to just north of Edmonton in a camp. I taught up there. Very, very beautiful area. Saw the Northern Lights, just incredible. Canada is absolutely a gem, and they're burning it, right? Very, very unfortunate. Now, here's a guy that basically is pushing back. There are Canadians that are pushing back. How effective this is going to be remains to be seen because, you know, Americans push back in a lot of areas. So Jeff Evely got a $28,872 fine for going into the woods in Nova Scotia. For going into the woods, Canada is broken. So this is a very interesting video. He basically goes right up to, I think it shows it right here.
Hey everybody, Jeff Evely here out in Nova Scotia on Mountain Road in Coxheath. And as you can see behind me, this is the woods. But over here, this is not the woods. This is the Department of Natural Resources, where the conservation officers work, who issue $25,000 fines for going in the woods.
Not bad. I'm Jeff Evely.
So he goes up to him and he tells him he's going to go in the woods because he wants to take him to court. So this guy's like a stud. So he says, all right, I'm going to go in those woods right behind where your compound is, like he just showed you. And you can start writing your ticket right now because I want to take that ticket and I want to take it because I've done this before and I win. I want to take it and I want to, take it to court and defeat it. So he goes through, he goes in the woods and does that. It's pretty cool.
Okay. And I didn't ask, but did you write the ticket already or?
No, we'll meet you back out front.
Back out front at the reception desk there? Okay, if I bring my camera, keep you guys off it? Yep. Okay. I'll see you in there, guys. Thank you.
All right, so he goes in and gets the ticket. And now he's going to take it. There's a group that's basically fighting back. So good for those guys. There are some Canadians that have some cojones, and we need more of that. We need a lot of that in California. I haven't seen any of that yet, right? No one's standing up to the brutality of that administration and the group that is basically burning California and then profiting off that. Gavin Newsom dancing practically. He was like, yeah, and we have all these investors that are coming in. And this is just after the burning in, LA, the LA area. Of course, a lot of those people ran into their underground tunnel systems, like we find out. And wow, what a mess there in LA. All right, so let's go into some other areas. Let's talk about the weather. So the weather, this was Oppenheimer Ranch project. He does a great job of exposing the lies and manipulation. He said 7 years ago, we're moving into a grand solar minimum. He shows that all the time, how the amount of ice is increasing, even though, like I said before the show, I went and looked, and I do the research for you guys, and you can do it yourself though. I give you information. You can go deeper if you want, but you're going to go in and say, Mike, you don't know what we're talking about, because all these scientists are saying, and they have all these studies where the ice is melting. Well, we're going to show you about that. All right. So here is like in your face. I was saying it was going to be heavy duty winter, and it was. I kept reporting on it. And here's a video, Oppenheimer Ranch. I looked this up. I remember this, and I actually even think I showed this on a show that I did way back.
Here, 369-12-24. The system will be over by Sunday morning, and there is the snow on the ground for the Rocky Mountains and the West. Quite significant.
So this was, of course, what's the date on this one? I think it was back in March or April. No, this was April. Where's the date on it? Not seeing the date, but it's 3 months ago. It says 3 months ago. Anyway, it doesn't give the exact date.
Significant for April. Some heavy snow will emerge from this system.
Yeah, right up here it says 17 April. And then all the way through April 22, almost into May.
Up in the Great Lakes region and even pepper portions of Maine. The long-term shows maybe one more system hitting the high elevations here in the Rockies, but nothing significant until we hit May. Hey. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole.
So remember Al Gore said we would not be having snow anymore in North America? That was supposed to take place years ago. Well, keeps snowing, doesn't it?
Al Gore says it doesn't snow anymore. Well, in fact, it's snowing hard in Ireland as peaks are dusted with rare April snow damaging orchards in Iran. It's true. Snowfall was reported in parts of Ireland on Wednesday morning with flurries spotted in Wexford and Wicklow. And rare April snow is damaging orchards in Iran. On April 16th, heavy snow blanketed Mananisha County in Iran's Zanjan province, just as trees had begun their blossom. The snow began late on Tuesday and persisted through the following day, covering much of the province and raising concerns about damage to local orchards, especially considering April snow in the province is rare, averaging just 2.4 inches and usually falling in the first half of the month. But this week's accumulation are a clear break from the norms, with totals nearly a foot in some parts. And we have massive record-breaking snow in the Alps as well. A huge snowfall underway in the Alps, the biggest for the entire season. Unfortunately, about 80% of the ski areas have already ended their seasons.
So again, I said that winter would be long. So here you have 80% of the ski areas are closed because normally there's no more snow. But here they had record-setting snowfall, huge snowfall in the Alps. They could have kept those. They could have kept them open if they'd listened to me. They would have known.
But for those of them still open, the storm is so heavy that it closed the slopes during the storm. Access roads and avalanche warnings have been prolific. And we can take a look at some footage from France. It's insane. Here we are over at X at Oppenheimer Ranch Project at Diamond the Dave. Follow us on X for all the breaking news all day. And what we're going to show you is Val d'El-Celer. And this is from today, buried in snow. This is the high elevation of France. And we're going to be looking at some of the global warming goodness. Take a look at this walk. Absolutely spectacular. And this is spring in France or France.
Well, I guess it really isn't spring in France. It's still winter. All right. So just like I said, it will be a long winter now. And I said it would be a very short summer. Fall would come early and winter would come early. And it will be a long, very long winter this year into next year. I don't see super heavy snow, but there will, because it's all being locked up in the Arctic and Antarctic. But I do see fairly good snowfall in a lot of areas. Maybe here where I'm at, there's going to be pretty significant snowfall because I want to ski this year. Right. So probably it's going to be some really good snow here. All right. So, yes, I can bring it. So that's what's coming. So the global warming bullshitting is going to continue. They're going to blame it. They're going to blame the fires on that. All right. As they're setting them, as they're burning all of the landscape. So they push everybody into these cities and then they're burning the cities with people in them. And it's just crazy. I think we should do something about that. What do you guys think? I don't know. So, but most people still don't understand. Just don't understand. All right. NASA satellites. This was May 13th of this year. NASA satellites show Antarctica has gained ice despite rising global temperatures. Lying to our face. How is that possible? It's not possible. You are lying, right? An abrupt change in Antarctica has caused, this is not an abrupt change. The ice has been increasing over the last several years. They're lying about it, just like they do every year, just like they lie about, the amount of, people that are working in the United States, right? So month after month. But this increase, until it catches up to them like this, and then someone sends a satellite over that's a good guy, and it's like, oh, I thought you guys said it was decreasing. Oh, that's an anomaly. That's very unusual. It won't stay like that. But this increase, documented in NASA satellite data, is a temporary anomaly. They're promising you that, rather than an indication that global warming has reversed. Wow. I mean, we can see that it has reversed year after year. It's getting colder. Even the summers aren't as long. It's not as hot, even though in some areas they are. That's very unusual because you guys are taking the temperature and putting it in places where it gets super hot, like in the middle of a city, next to a air conditioner, right? So Antarctica has gained ice in recent years. Oh, I thought it was just an anomaly this year. But this increased documented is a temporary anomaly. Oh, but further in, has gained ice in recent years. Yes, I've been reporting on that, despite increasing average global temperatures. Wow, that's just amazing. It just seems like that would be impossible that it would do that, right? Even though they're reporting that the glaciers are melting. Now they're saying it's gaining in recent years. But if you look it up right now, go look, they're saying that they're melting like crazy. Yet the oceans aren't rising. But they have all these maps of when the glaciers melting, like they're saying they're melting. Sea level will rise and all these places will be underwater. Well, Houston should be underwater by now. It's not, and still has the same beaches that it's had for years. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? You think they're lying? So, however, this isn't a sign that global warming and climate change have miraculously reversed. No. Picture a long ski slope with a small jump at the end. That's what a line through the Antarctic ice sheet looks like when plotted on a graph. While there have been some recent ice gains, they don't even begin to make up for almost 20 years of losses. Lie. God, it's insane. So that is what we're up against, guys. And we're also up against, lies of how this global warming is coming. All right. Let's look at this piece of fiction. This piece of fiction is amazing because a lot of people believe it. Almost 40% of land burned by Western wildfires can be traced to carbon emissions. Really? So you have these anomalies that, the ice sheets are actually expanding, have been expanding for years, even though you've been saying and we can all look it up and they say they're decreasing, but you're saying in this article that they're expanding. I've been saying they're expanding. And the actual people that go and do the research, the real scientists are saying that it's expanding, although they're suppressed. So you have your paid for scientists, just like you did in the COVID scamdemic lie, that are saying that they're melting. I'm melting, like the Wicked Witch of the water. Almost 40% of forest area burned by wildfire in Canada and southwestern Canada in the last 40 years can be attributed to carbon emissions associated with the world's 88 largest fossil fuel producers. So they want these producers, and this was happening actually. I don't know if it still is, but New York was actually fining some of these fossil fuel producers like Exxon and Mobil or whatever. So Kathy Hochul, what a scam artist. What a scam that's going on in New York. New York's going to find out the hard way. New York City, you're going to get that communist mayor, guys. He will be your mayor. And then people will run from New York like crazy. To quantify the impact of the fossil fuel industry on wildfires, Dahl, scientist Dahl that's been paid, of course, and her colleagues who have been paid, built on previous research. I wonder if we could just say, you know what? If we find out that you're lying, you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life. I wonder if they change their tune. That has shown that carbon emissions traced to the top 88 fossil fuel producers and cement manufacturers. Wow. I guess we can't have cement anymore either. Including Exxon, Mobil, BP, Chevron, and Shell, have contributed significantly to the average. So they want to find them, guys. And now they want to like go after the cement production people too. And they have their research and they're like, you guys are bullshitting. And they're like, no, we have the right research. Your research lies. And they're the government, right? They're the ones that have the power. They can like kick them out if they don't pay, or, they can pay the fines and, still make money. This is the way this is. It's like they're like mafia. It's like a mafia system, guys. It's insane. So this woman, Dahl, this scientist, I actually laughed because I'm crazy, because I've never had such a strong correlation in my data before. The researchers were then able to estimate that emissions from the major carbon producers contributed to 48% of the increase in the vapor pressure deficit observed over the last 120 years. What? You guys are such bullshitters. Over the last 120 years? Wow. I don't know. I don't think we had carbon emissions back then, but maybe like smokestacks from smelting fires or whatever, back in the day when they like made steel and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, asked to comment on the findings, a spokesman for the Western States Petroleum Association said that demonization of the fossil fuel industry would not bring solutions. Demonizing. So these demons that are demonizing the thing that we're going to most need going forward in this global cooling. See how this works? They want to like strip us of the thing that's going to keep us warm, guys. And we'll have all these, I don't know, all these solar panels that are covered with ice and snow that won't work, right? And these windmills that are frozen in ice. You've seen windmills like in Texas when they had like that deep freeze. The windmills were all messed up. They didn't work anymore. Have they thought about that? Probably not. They don't care. Have you seen the power lines that come from those windmills? Yeah, me either. I guess they run underground and they run to a station somewhere. I don't know. So, what a mess. What a mess. So, but there is, some things that we can look forward to, and some things that are coming forward that are helping to change the world. There's not a lot of them, but one of those things is the LifeWave water machine, X2O. Experience LifeWave's groundbreaking water technology system. So I should be getting mine within the next week or two. They're giving them to the top producers in the company first, and then they're working their way down. So this isn't just a water filtration system. It's a whole new way to release light into the body. LifeWave X2O produces patented light infusion technology, dual stage filtration, and hydrogen enrichment to energize your water and your body from the inside out. Now, I've tried this, and everyone that I know that's tried this water, we did it last year at a convention. It is quite spectacular, the results you get. You talk about med bed technology. This is way beyond anything else that's out there, guys. Patented light technology infuses water into the water to support your body at the cellular level. Hydrogen enrichment provides antioxidant properties by infusing water with hydrogen. And advanced dual-stage filtration removes nearly all harmful chemicals from municipal water. So how it works: fill the reservoir, activate the system, and then 45 to 50 minutes, 2 450 milliliter glasses are ready. And that's all you need for the day. You infuse your body with light, and then the next day you do it again, right? Dispense and enjoy. All right. So it's going to be just under 5,000. Now, at one time, this machine was 24 feet long, and I forget how many feet wide. Quite a few feet, but they've got it down to this small little box. All right. So David Schmidt is definitely Nikola Tesla level. I've been to his laboratory. It's spectacular. Now, Nikola Tesla wasn't really able to get a lot of his great technology out to us, but David Schmidt is, and it's going to keep coming. So it talks about the pre-launch availability. The top achievers will be personally invited in waves. So probably next week or two, like I said, 1 unit per person. And then they're going to work down the rankings within LifeWave all the way to October 27th. So all U.S. brand partners. So if you're a brand partner, now if you're a customer, it's not the same as being a brand partner. So if you're not a brand partner, now would be the time to become a brand partner. It's very easy. Get the X39 and the Celergize, and then you get this water machine. It's going to be like the Trinity. All right. So October 27th, they just in North America, or just in the United States, actually, it's going to be available, and then it's going to start to launch to the rest of just regular customers, and then to the world. So this is what it looks like. All right. Unfortunately, it's not sharing. I get it now. There we go. See how she lit up? All right. So that's what happens. You light up. That's what happened to me. My throat, basically, I could feel light coming out of my throat. My brain, I could feel my brain, just like the neurons of my brain firing. I felt very light. It's just absolutely amazing. And the 3 times that I tried it, it was very similar. A lot of miracles that are happening already with the LifeWave patches. And the miracles are going to be beyond spectacular with this water machine. So infusing water into your body, unbelievable. It's a gift from God. literally. David Schmidt says that. He gets downloads to for all this stuff. So quite substantial. If you're not in LifeWave yet, I highly recommend it. Down in the description box, or you can go to lifewavemichaeljaco.com and my site there, and you can do more research. So the water machine launching for all brand partners at the convention. After the convention, if you come to the convention, you'll be able to have access to it. And then October 27th, you can actually get, I guess, you can get it on a payment plan. So they're going to have a payment plan for it for average brand partners, and then eventually for customers. So people are going to be buying this for crazy. And if you can't afford it, get some friends. You guys put in on it and get it, and you like visit each other at your houses or whatever. Keep it for a week, and then pass it on to your other friends. So there's lots of don't. God has ways. Ask God. He will provide a way for you guys. And dream big. LifeWave is something that is like the X39. Dave Schmidt has never raised the price of X39 since its launch, I think about 8-10 years ago, something like that. So it is, it's fantastic. I think that everybody in the world would benefit from LifeWave patches on multiple levels. And we've talked about the COVID-19 vaccination. 80% of Americans got vaccinated. Of course, the rest of us get shed upon, right? And David and I did a show a couple of years ago where he talked about how they did studies where people that wear the patch were overcoming problems from that. All right. So we know there's a big pushback on that. I did a show today with a doctor, Dr. Moore, who they, up until almost a month ago, they were going to prosecute him for giving people saline and helping people out. And he's overcome that, fortunately. Now he's looking for, ways to help people. So I don't know, maybe LifeWave will be the one thing that he goes with. So I'll meet him soon, maybe tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. So there's LifeWave, and LifeWave Business is a great opportunity for everybody. Hope to see more of you guys involved in it, especially you guys that are, have influence with a lot of people. You could be very successful very quickly with this. So just be heads up on that. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it because you're helping people on creating miracles. Absolutely amazing. All right, guys, lots of love. We know these crazy types, keep trying to decimate us and destroy our lives and our surroundings, but we keep, pushing back. We work together. We can overcome all the challenges that we're faced with. So stay in the love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.